Imagine waking up in the early 1900s, walking into a pharmacy, and the pharmacist smiles at you like, "Rough day?" Then hands you a bottle of cocaine like it's Panadol. Yes, America once treated cocaine the same way we treat energy drinks. And the wild part? Nobody thought anything was wrong. Today, we're diving into the forgotten timeline of how cocaine first entered America, the part of history your teachers quietly skipped. Let's go back, way back. Cocaine's story in America didn't start with cartels, secret tunnels, or action movie drug lords. Nope. It started with scientists in lab coats, doctors with big mustaches, and businessmen who said, "How can we make money from this leaf?" It all began with the coca plant, grown high in the Andes Mountains of South America. Indigenous people had been chewing coca leaves for thousands of years to fight fatigue and altitude sickness. Nothing illegal, just nature helping them out. Then came European explorers who took the plant back home. Fast forward to the 1800s, and chemists isolated the powerful ingredient hidden inside those little leaves, cocaine. And when they discovered what it could do, oh boy, doctors said, "Wow, this thing wakes people up." Scientists said, "We must study this." And businessmen said, "We're about to become rich." By the 1880s, cocaine officially entered the United States, and Americans welcomed it like it was the latest iPhone. Doctors loved it because it numbed pain quickly. Dentists used it for tooth extraction. Surgeons used it for operations. Newspapers called it a miracle drug. Even Sigmund Freud, the famous psychologist, praised cocaine like it was his favorite snack. He called it the cure for depression, low energy, sadness, basically everything except heartbreak. But the real twist came when advertisers joined the party. Suddenly, cocaine was everywhere. It was in cough syrups. It was in tonics. It was in painkillers. It was even in wine. Yes, wine. Imagine someone in 1895 saying, "I need a drink," and they mean a glass of cocaine wine. The world was different, my friend. And then came the most famous appearance, Coca-Cola. Yes, the early recipe of Coca-Cola once contained real coca leaf extract. This is where the name Coca came from. So if you've ever felt unusually happy after drinking soda, don't worry. They removed the cocaine a very long time ago. By the early 1900s, cocaine was so popular in America that pharmacies sold it without prescriptions. You could walk in, buy cocaine tablets, cocaine powder, or syrups, and nobody would blink. Kids could buy it. Grown-ups could buy it. Everyone could buy it. It was like buying chewing gum. But as you can guess, things started going downhill. People began getting addicted. Hospitals started seeing strange cases of overuse. Newspapers, which once called cocaine a miracle, suddenly turned around and started calling a menace. Between 1900 and 1914, America slowly realized, maybe letting everyone buy cocaine over the counter was not a great idea. So in 1914, the U.S. government passed the Harrison Narcotics Act, and cocaine became regulated. Not banned, just restricted. Doctors could still use it, but random people couldn't buy it like candy anymore. This law changed everything. Doctors stopped handing it out freely. Pharmacies removed it from shelves, and the era of legal cocaine quietly ended. But here's the twist. A drug doesn't simply disappear because a new law says so. Demand stayed. Suppliers went underground. And slowly, the modern world of drug trafficking began forming. But remember, the story didn't start with smugglers and crime. It started with science, medicine, and a world that believed cocaine was harmless and helpful. So how did cocaine really enter America? Not through secret boats or border tunnels, but through doctors, pharmacies, and legitimate businesses who believed they had discovered the next big breakthrough. And that's the forgotten early timeline, one that reminds us that history isn't always clean, simple, or logical. Sometimes entire countries just make big mistakes together. If you enjoyed this trip into the past, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and stick around, because the next episode dives into how America's strange love for cocaine turned into the global drug war we know today.